Guys, hope all of us are doing great. My name is Ernest, and this is Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. So today we're going to look at third aspect of the concept of transformation, and this basically is the concept of translation. Now, from our first discussion on the first two on reflection and rotation, we had mentioned basically that we can be able to define translation in a summary form as a concept of sliding an object. So basically, this is to slide an object. And I've given various examples. For instance, if we consider a two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system for x and y, we can be able to perform this particular aspect of sliding an object from particularly this one. Let's consider this a to a prime, and therefore this is going to entail the concept of translation. Now we have talked about the concept of rotation, and in our discussion about the concept of rotation, which we basically said is, of course, turning an object, we can be able to perform two specific reflections in order to obtain the concept of rotation. Now, if we consider the case of two mirror lines, which are going to be, which I'm going to presume are two parallel lines, then just give them as I and M respectively. So if we have a flag which is going to perform from our object, we just give it as A, and then we're going to have a reflection of this specific flag in the mirror line of I, and that is going to form my first image of A prime. And then if we have a subsequent reflection of this specific object, it's going to form my A prime prime of the reflection of the image in the mirror line M given as such. So therefore, I can be able to have a transformation from A to A prime, whereby A to A prime is going to entail the concept of a reflection. And this is going to be the first reflection, of course, as I've said, in the line I. So the subsequent transformation from A prime to A prime prime is going to be another reflection, which is a secondary reflection in this specific mirror line M that I've given. So to get A prime prime from A prime, we can be able to slide this specific object, as we can see, and then try to obtain this other image that we're going to see on the other side. And basically, they refer to this specific process of translation as perhaps trying to slide an object, and therefore we can be able to give it in terms of two reflections in these two mirrors for I and M respectively. So therefore we're going to see that we can be able to perform a translation of an object in the two Cartesian coordinate system by trying to just perform some specific procedure. So I'm just going to give an elaboration on that by using an example of this two Cartesian coordinate system. So for us to translate an object down, if we have this is our A as an object, for us to translate it down, we're going to subtract from the y coordinate. So suppose this point S is at this particular point, or let's just give it the image in the first quadrant. So we're going to have this specific image. So suppose this point is given as 2 and then or 3, 2. We're going to see that for us to translate this specific image, so this is the xy. For us to translate this particular image down, we're going to subtract from the y coordinate. So the movement up or down this specific coordinate is going to affect, of course, the y coordinate, and therefore this is going to be given in terms of this specific point given as such, and that is going to be subtraction from the y coordinate of those specific points. So suppose this one was at this specific point for 3, 2, and then this is going to be given as this is 2, and then we're going to have this. So this is going to be along the x-axis. This is going to be 3, and then we're going to have -2 given as such. So this is going to be so sorry for that. So perhaps we shouldn't give that one in form of a reflection, which is going to confuse us. So this one basically implies that this specific point of intersection for these various parts of the object we're going to have various coordinates which are going to represent these specific vertices. So in that particular sense, then therefore we're going to see that a translation that is going to occur down or up